Do you sometimes have an idea that you cannot let go until you have accomplished it? That was yesterday's steak from the grill, and the idea was to make soup from grilled steak, and I just could not let go of the idea until I did it. So, this is what I did. I got all the ingredients, you know already about the steak, the grilled steak. That was the main one. And then I cut all the meat from the bone. I don't need the bone at all. I just don't need it. And then what I did was I got a Jamaican yellow yam, the food of Usain Bolt, along with some spinach because I thought it would add some color. Of course, onions and cocoa and scallion, adding a little bit of Jamaican flavor there. And to make it international, I added some American potatoes. First things first, the butter was melted in a frying pan. We need to have the butter, as you know. And then the steak was cut up in little pieces, bite-sized pieces. To that I added some soy sauce, and to that I added some flour. The flour is important because that's going to give the soup a body. Don't add too much because it'll become way too thick. Here you're going to have to use your own judgment. After the flour, of course, I added all into the frying pan with the butter, stirring it around, making sure I make sort of like a roux. To that I added the onions, and to the onions I added some. That's right, that's thyme you're looking at. Here you can be as creative as you want to be. Add all the spices that you like. Onion, thyme, the soy sauce, it's all in there. The yam, of course, I cut up into bite-sized pieces. Now, I gotta tell you something. When you cut yam into pieces, the color will change. That is normal. It is very normal for yellow yam to do that. So don't be alarmed when you see that. After that, of course, I added this other secret ingredient, which is a can of beer. If I were in Jamaica, I would be adding Red Stripe beer because I happen to love the flavor of Red Stripe beer. Besides, it's a lager beer, which really adds a beautiful taste to food. And then I just let that cook. What I do also is to add pig's tail and some broth to the soup. You can use any sort of broth you want, really, because that'll add to it. And of course, it cannot be a soup, the Jamaican soup especially, if you don't have little dumplings. And I added that to the soup. After I added that, all I did then was just to stir it well, make very sure that I had the right amount of liquid in it, and the beer and the broth with the soup and the yam and the dumplings and the old steak, along with the spinach. I just let it simmer. That's right. Let it simmer for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And then just 30 minutes, by the way, before it was ready to be served, I added the potatoes. It was so good.